Jaden Daniels with Cliff Kingsbury, who, by the way, has had Mahomes. And so here's Caleb. And it's like, who's his guy? Drake May. Who's his guy? Now, Drake's not playing. But I look at the Caleb situation, and I'm like, this has been a dysfunctional franchise forever. I think Jaden and Bo's success is largely, when you're young, be it a young broadcaster, a young mayor, a young quarterback, you really need a guiding person in your life. Could be an acting coach, whatever it is. Get older, it's different. I don't know if you'll have to blow it up in Chicago, but Caleb looks a little lost, Nick. He looks lost.
I think this is the first thing you've said where we're gonna disagree almost across the board on. First of all, I don't have any Bo Nix stock, but if I did, I'd sell it right to you right now. I understand Sean Payton is very good at his job. I think he is working with a very limited, low-ceiling player there. So the Bo Nix, I'm almost going to dismiss. Jaden, quite simply, 12 hours ago, 14 hours.
He's just going to dismiss Bo Nix, low ceiling. Sean Payton's good at his job. I'm going to talk about Bo Nix more. I want to see Nick finish this segment. And then we're going to go take it from there, and we'll get to it. Don't worry.
Years ago, had one of the greatest games a rookie quarterback has ever played. So I am not going to dismiss that. What I will say is, you mentioned Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury teams, whether it was with Patrick Mahomes at Tech, with Kyler in Arizona, they do seem to play their best ball and have their most productive offenses the first quarter of a season and then slow a bit late. But I like Jaden coming out of college. My concern with Jaden was he is my build, and I don't think I could survive an NFL season, so I worry about his ability to take the punishment. Caleb, in my opinion, has clearly gotten better each week. Week 1 was a disaster that they won despite him. Week 2, he was a D. And week 3, it's like, oh, those were some really good moments mixed with some bad moments. You have 350 yards, and I know people might want to say, well, 50 weren't a Hail Mary. Fine. So he had 300 yards, some nice throws, and a couple bad mistakes. So that I think that is encouraging for him individually. Where I do agree with you, however, is thus far the offensive coaching seems to be inept, and the offensive line play seems to be really, really struggling. There's the clip, obviously, of their running.
Okay. So I love how Bo Nix just gets completely thrown to the side. And he says that, yeah, Jaden is good and he's looking good, but Cliff Kingsbury, his teams are usually good in the first quarter and then they're bad. And it's like, okay, sure. And then Bo Nix or Caleb Williams is getting better every single game, right? And it's like, okay, fine. Let's say that's true. So then what is Bo Nix doing? Is Bo Nix just magically getting worse every single game, or is he getting better every single game? And statistically, he's been better than Caleb Williams, okay? And he actually played great when he beat a team. He beat the Buccaneers, a team that both Nick had as a top team and Colin Cowherd had as a top team. What has the Chicago Bears did? They beat the Tennessee Titans, who Nick has as a bottom team, and so does Colin have as a bottom team. And then who did he put up some of those numbers against the Colts again? Also not a top team, another bottom team. So no, I reject that. And again, I'm not anti-Caleb Williams. I'm pro-Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams, is in a very difficult situation as well with the Chicago Bears and what's kind of unfolding. But if you want to elevate Caleb and compliment him and compliment his growth, I'm all for that. I really am. But to do it in a way where you have to just throw away Bo Nix makes no sense. Bo Nix played really, really well and great on a rookie scale, played great against the Buccaneers. His movement, his throws. You want to talk about really nice throws, nice mobility, starting to understand the game, starting to connect with it in terms of the NFL speed of it. I mean, the way how he's been anticipating and the way how he goes through his progressions and his ball placement, it's been significantly better than what Caleb Williams has been doing. The game for Caleb, it's been moving too fast for him. That hasn't been the case for Bo Nix. It just hasn't. Bo Nix has looked way more under control. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that Bo Nix has been perfect, that Bo Nix has been smashing this out of the park. Like, I'm not saying that, right? But to act like Bo Nix has just been, oh my God, we can't even look at this guy. His ceiling's so low and he's not doing anything. But Caleb's getting better every single week. Jaden just had the best game that we've seen a rookie do, but like, I don't know. Cliff Kingsbury, it's going to crash and burn. We'll just throw that to the side as well. Like, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. It makes no sense. Could you imagine? Just imagine this. And I said this similar with the Jaden Daniels, because Jaden Daniels, you may not know, Denver Broncos fans, the Washington Commanders did not get a lot of media attention after this game. Not as much as I thought they should have gotten, quite frankly. But imagine if Caleb Williams had the game that Bo Nix had against the Buccaneers. Just imagine. Do you think that everybody would be talking about it? Do you think it would be all over the media? Do you think it would be on Get Up, First Take, First Things First, The Herd, the Facility, or Breakfast Ball, all those shows? Wouldn't it just be everywhere? It would be the top story, the leading story. Caleb Williams plays great in win and yada, 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 beats top team Buccaneers, It would be all about it. It would be all over. I didn't really see any legit breakdowns on that game. And it's been frustrating because you guys know I love to do Denver Broncos and Bo Nix content. And it's like sometimes I feel so limited by some of these teams, whether it be the Washington Commanders, whether it be the Denver Broncos. It can be honestly really frustrating. And it's funny when Nick kind of just says that part out loud, right? Like, I don't even think Bo Nix is worth talking about. Like that and the Denver Broncos fans have to feel that in the media attention. I mean, Colin gives the Broncos and especially Bo Nix plenty of attention, and Sean Payton as well. They have that, they have that relationship. They text each other as Colin has pointed out. But yeah, right? Like it's just kind of just funny to me, right? That is just like I'm just gonna put Bo Nix to the side. I don't even feel the desire to even talk about him. That's like, come on. How does that make sense? How can you just dismiss that just completely? Doesn't make any sense. I mean, I get why. Obviously, he's a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Patrick Mahomes, yada, yada, yada. Broncos, they're bad. Rivals, I get it. But, like, this is not the way how this is supposed to work like that, right? You're also supposed to respect your opponent. And clearly, there's just no respect for Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. And I'm really excited for the day when Bo Nix gets to really get his reign. And here, we'll look at this real fast, where we can look at these rankings and we can do week 3 for quarterbacks. And would you look at this? Bo Nix was ranked 11th. He was the 11th best quarterback according to Pro Football Focus. And where was Caleb Williams in that amazing game that he had? He was 25th. That's weird. And then where was Patrick Mahomes? Oh, wow. Patrick Mahomes was 27th. That's weird. And the Prince, which we know is, you can't see it, unfortunately. Trevor Lawrence was 29th, who we know Nick Wright absolutely adores. So this idea that we can just skip over Bo Nix as he's nothing, even though he literally had the 11th best game for quarterbacks against the Buccaneers, against an opponent that people have been really high on, despite any of their injuries and all of that. They've been really high on the Buccaneers. I personally haven't, but they have all been, to just be like, we're just going to throw that to the side. I don't really know how to make sense of that. I mean, that now is just kind of, crazy, right? Like, that's a bridge too far for me. Okay, if Bo Nix was also at the bottom, right? If he was like 25th, 26th, 27th, then I could understand, right? But Bo Nix had a great game. He had a great game. And you got to give someone their flowers when they do it. When they show you something great, when they show you something, when they do better than other veteran experienced quarterbacks, like, you have to admit it. You have to acknowledge it. You have to talk about it. So they might not talk about it. You know I will. And again, as I always say, I don't live and die by the PFF rankings. I say this all the time. Stats are so misleading. Everything has to be put in context. So I find myself in the comment section more and more just being like, this is what, because people are just inundating me with comments and they just want to throw hate towards me. And so I just love, sometimes I'll just be like, well, PFF said this guy was 5, and whatever you're saying, this guy was 20th. So whatever, take it up with PFF, not me, man. Take it up with PFF. You know, I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it. And, you know, again, even though stats can be misleading, it can't be so wildly misleading when you're like the 11th, 10th, 12th best quarterback or whatever it may be, and just be like, well, that's actually so misleading. You are actually like the bottom. You are actually like not even worth talking about, right? If you want to say, but the one quarterback was number 1 and another quarterback was 8, and you could say, yeah, but the 8th quarterback had a lot more injuries to deal with, a worse team, worse coach, a harder opponent, right? Like, then you could justify, right? And then the number 1 was able to feast on this bad team, or they got all of their yards and their production in a blowout when they were being beat, and it was like soft coverage, right? You can justify so many of these things. That's why stats are misleading. But when there's that much of a swing, it's a little bit hard to just, you know, be like, those stats are just, we just throw them out. They're just nothing. Especially when I watched both games. So when I use those stats as well, like the PFF rankings, I just use it because it's just like a clear thing to be like, look at this, right? Not as necessarily proof, because I look at the numbers as well as what I see. Right, I'm using the eye test. I'm breaking it down. I'm looking at it. I'm watching it from all different angles. I'm then also using the other resources from a lot of people that I trust and seeing what they're saying things that I'm probably missing or things that I haven't thought about, right? Like I try to collect my resources and sources and then just kind of try to take it all in, and then I figure out what my opinion is, and then I relay it back to everyone. And so like I'm watching that game, I'm not watching this Chicago Bears game and saying, Caleb Williams, man, what a great game, best game. Oh, what Caleb Williams did or what Bo Nix did, that was nothing. That was nonsense. Nah, not even worth talking about. I just, no. So we got some games coming up. I hope the Denver Broncos can really begin to get some momentum, get their Jaden Daniels game, and go up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, God, that will be so fun. That really will. I don't know if they'll be able to do it. The Chiefs are obviously, unfortunately, Broncos fans, the Chiefs are still a great team, and they do indeed have Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and Spags, and that alone is just going to make them a formidable foe. But I really do believe that Bo Nix will have rapid progressions and rapid growth within the NFL. Whether or not the Broncos have the personnel to support that, that's the question mark, but I believe Sean Payton can do it. I believe Bo Nix can do it. What will that look like with this team in 2024? I do not know truly, but I am excited to find out. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about just the clear, we don't even need to talk about Bo Nix. Who cares about Bo Nix? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.